Hello, folks. This is Joe from MyGeeksy, and I'm here to do a review of the Cherry Capital Comic Con. Don't expect this to be a long video because, quite frankly, I was just at the Cherry Capital Comic Con back in October, and I did a write up on that. And if you would like to read about the how that event went, just feel free to check out the link in the description below. But basically, the Cherry Capital Comic Con, which returned back to its Memorial Day weekend spot. I don't know why I'm pausing numerous times. Basically, it happened during Memorial Day weekend, like I just mentioned, and it was the same experience, and that's not a bad thing. I can't complain about that. One of the positives was I wrote at the end of my review that it sucked that I had to wait like 2 years prior to the last one, but then I didn't have to wait as long for this one, and yeah, was happy that I got to return back on Memorial Day weekend. The big theme for this year was the Thundercats reunion, which featured Larry Kenney, who was Lion-O, and Peter Newman, who was Tigra. Lynn Lipton, who was Chitara, was going to appear, but unfortunately, due to the last minute, she had something that prevented her from attending. But the remaining two, it was awesome to meet them. It was awesome to listen to their Thundercats panel because normally I hate going to Q&A panels because it's the same questions over and over and over again that you hear at every other panel. But this one piqued my interest because this was a glimpse into how they used to do recording back in the day, and just listening to those two talk about their stories and their experiences from the past was pretty cool to check out. And I would highly recommend it. Like, I was just enthralled the entire time. If they ever come to an event near you, I would highly recommend checking out both of them. If they have a Thundercats panel, certainly go to that. It was awesome. And also, since Thundercats was the big theme for this year, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, what I have to give a shout out to Jay Fosgit for creating this cool Thundercats artwork for C4. I've been to a lot of Comic Cons throughout the years, and they're pretty much all the same with little variations here and there. There are three things that I always look forward to when I go to C4 that helps it stand out from the rest. The Drink and Draw, the Gary Reed Independent Creator of the Year Award, and the Karaoke Contest. The Drink and Draw, it's just a big hangout for guests and artists they just basically drink and draw, and then like all the artwork that is created during that is donated to a silent auction. I'll touch back on that in a moment. The Gary Reed Independent Creator of the Year Award just highlights creators who are pretty much act as mentors to the rest of the independent artists and creators in the comics industry. And this year, Joe Pruitt was the winner of the contest. Joe wasn't on hand to accept the award because he was actually in London at the time. But Ron Mars, who was one of the guests of Cherry Capital Comic Con, had accepted the reward on behalf of Joe Pruitt. So that was cool to see. And the silent auction that I mentioned, which is the karaoke contest, which is another cool thing that I like to see at that. It's just guests and just hang out. They just sing karaoke songs, and then we bid on the artwork throughout the karaoke contest. And it was pretty funny because my girlfriend, who was also my assistant, got into a serious bidding war on a piece of art that she really, really wanted. And it was funny watching the incremental wars that was like in 50-cent increments and stuff like that. But she ended up winning. Long story short, she ended up winning because she outbid everyone and because she was not having it. She wanted that piece real bad, and she won it. So props to her. But the cool thing about like the silent auction is the money goes towards the Heroes Initiative, which helps provide medical coverage for all the comic book artists and writers out there. Because unfortunately, unless you really hit it big, you're an independent creator and you don't really have good insurance. Well, it depends on your insurance program, but you don't really have insurance coverage. So I think it's a very good cause, and I applaud C4 for donating money to that cause. One of the new things at C4 this year was this improv drawing show called Call It a Draw, which featured Kaylin Smith, Dan Doherty, Seth the Moose, and Jay Fosgit. Now, the moderator for it was DJ, I want to say Korchin or Korshin. So sorry, dude, if I'm butchering your last name. Forgive me. Basically, it's they would take they would have themes that they would take from the audience and they would do improv on it, and it was not necessarily they would improv while talking, and they were just while they were drawing it. And quite frankly, it was so hilarious that I actually forgot to take any photos because I was just so, I don't want to say ensconced and I don't want to say enraptured. I don't even know if those are the proper words, but I was having such a good time that I legitimately forgot to take photos of them. And actually, at the end of their session, they were giving out the drawings to audience members and stuff. And the great thing about this is Call It a Draw was not for kids. It's definitely more of an adult program. And I like seeing adult programming at events like this because, you know, not everything is about the kids. And sometimes you just want to sit down and whine and laugh at blue humor and whatnot. So I don't even know why they call it blue, but that's neither here nor there. I had a great time at Call It a Draw, and I hope C4 brings that back next year. And yeah, C4, if you're watching this, please bring it back. It was awesome. And shout outs to all the people that were involved in that. You're all hilarious and you all have great chemistry. So kudos to you. And that pretty much wraps up my review about C4. Like I said, same experience, not a bad thing. You can't go wrong with Cherry Capital Comic Con. This is one of the few events that I look forward to going to in Michigan every year, and I don't want to miss it. It's always held on Memorial Day weekend in the Grand Traverse Resort up in Traverse City. Honestly, and for the price that you pay for like the weekend, you get your money's worth at C4, and it's a great time, folks. If you can make it out to this great event. All right, folks, this is Joe from My Geek Scene. Take it easy.